Hey guys, and welcome to another video. If you're new here and actually don't give a toss about who I am and you just came to see the craft, that's totally fine. You can skip to this time code here and enjoy the rest of the video. However, if you're not new here, or if you are new here and you actually just do care about what I'm about to say, then buckle in. It's officially spooky month and I'm super excited, but as you can probably see by my background, we are lacking in pretty much all of the spooky decorations. Not only is October busy for my spooky project, I don't know why I said it like that. Not only is October super busy for my spooky projects, but October this year has just been jam-packed with other shit. So while I do try and get my videos out on time this week, I'm sorry, but it just seems to be taking a while. Things I have going on in October, other than spooky stuff, is Sam's birthday, which actually just happened yesterday, which is also why this video is late. I have PAX coming up next weekend, which takes out another weekend of my normal crafting time. And then I'm also going back to Perth for a week for a wedding, which will have me away from my studio for another week. On top of all of this, I also work a 9-to-5 job, so the time I can spend making videos is very limited. All of that to say, I'm gonna try and get 4 videos out this month of spooky videos, but if I don't make it, please don't hate me. And you know what? Because they are really good ideas that I have this year, I might just end up uploading them in November anyway. So without further ado, we're gonna get into this week's video. It's a little bit of a different style video because I actually filmed it on my DSLR camera that I was able to get back from my family home. I do also have microphones, so you will see the content getting a little bit better over the next few weeks. I just have to figure out how they work. So finally, without further ado, even though I've already said it a couple times now, I will actually let you get into the video. Enjoy. Here's the plan. I wanted to make a bookshelf insert that was the scene of Nightmare Before Christmas when Jack finds all the different doors. If you don't know what this scene looks like, watch the movie because honestly you're missing out. Otherwise, it's basically going to consist of a forest scene painted onto the background with just the singular pumpkin Halloween tree in the center. While it would have been cool to add the entire circle in, ain't nobody got time for that, and I'm not a miniature artist. And let's be real, out of all the seasons, Halloween is the best. I'm also going to add some fairy lights to give it some good lighting, and to really mimic like the little world is alive. First step is to find a suitable base, because while this is a craft channel, if I don't have to make everything from scratch, I'm not gonna. I cut down the top and side seams of the box while also removing the front tabs, then glued a flat piece of card to the back. I gave the back of the box a good coating of matte black spray paint because while up and go is life, it's not exactly in theme. I then wanted my tree to be slightly raised up, so I'm going to make him a little podium. Once all the hot glue has set, I'm going to give everything a nice layer of yellow ochre. I did this by mixing every yellow paint color that I own, not liking the background and deciding, screw it, I'm going to put it on anyway because I've already wasted too much paint. I'll put that aside to start working on my tree. Now, normally I'd make a base out of a bunch of tin foil, but unfortunately I just don't have any. But thankfully we did have a bunch of these empty toilet rolls and they'll do the job just fine. I'll glue the 2 toilet rolls together and then cut it to size, and then we get to use one of my favorite things. If you haven't used foam clay before, the best way I can describe it is like marshmallow fluff that eventually dries into a solid, sandable EVA foam. I'm just going to take a handful at a time and smush it all over the rolls until it's completely covered. From there, I'm going to use a variety of tools, preferably ones without blades, and start rolling in my bark texture. Now that my tree is looking a little bit more like a tree and less like a pile of grey goop, we're going to make it look less like a tree and add a door. Now if you clicked on this video blind and still haven't figured out what we're making, honestly, I'm impressed. But this is a pumpkin Halloween door from Nightmare Before Christmas, so as appropriately named, I'm going to continue poking and prodding at the clay until I get something that resembles a pumpkin. Now pulling the old switcheroo, I'm going to let the tree dry for 24 hours and start working on the background that I put away earlier. Because I'm
possibly ADHD, and have very minimum forethought, I've already added the shading to the top corners of my box, and didn't feel like covering it. So I whipped up a few varying shades, from barely noticeable from the background to literally just black paint, to create some depth in my trees. And I applied them with the lighter shade first, moving forward to the darker shade to show the depth of the forest. I didn't bother adding too many branches into this because if you look at the reference photos, they're kind of just long sticks. On the ground, I added a circular shadow to the edges, otherwise known as a vignette, and added a bunch of highlights and lowlights. I did originally want to add a few tufts of grass here and there, but then, looking back at the reference photos, the ground pretty much looks, well, like this. So this is what I stuck with. With the background being complete, we welcome back our happy little tree, who, with the magic of editing, is now completely dry, meaning we can give him a nice black base coat. Once the base coat is dry, we can follow that up with progressively lighter shades of brown in a dry brush technique until you start mistaking the craft studio for an extremely sparse forest. Now, even though we don't have them where I live, I will not discredit the fact that these pumpkins are orange, so we are going to give him an appropriately orange coloured door. Yes, that's right, I've never carved a pumpkin because we don't have them where I live, and so I probably never will. Feel bad. Justice for Australians. I attached Bradley to the base using some Uhu glue, which I've been told is actually pronounced Yoo-hoo glue, but I don't like that, so I'm going to stick with Uhu, because my glue gun is kind of bad and I didn't have anything else. With everything now in place, it's time for the lights. I started gluing the lights down in a circular pattern, edging towards the front to give the tree some menacing downlighting. I apparently didn't film this part, probably because 10 meters of lights is just too many lights, and it was the bane of this entire project. But now they're on the floor by gluing the lights in place along the back corner seam, and then into this nice little ridge created earlier by the platform. I glued the box together with nothing but a bit of hot glue and a dream because I figured, you know what, if it's in a bookshelf, nobody's going to see it anyway, and I really don't care because I'm now 5 days into this project, and I kind of want it to be done. Why did it take 5 days, you may ask? Well, good question, and I would love to tell you. It is because I am a 9-to-5 worker, my friends. So if you've made it this far into the video, why not subscribe and help me make this my full-time job, so then I can actually get videos out to you on time, and with a lot more enthusiastic energy. After many endless hours of just gluing lights, I glued on a front panel that I made off camera, which means we're all done here and onto the montage.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you did like it, make sure to subscribe, turn on that bell icon so you get post notifications about every single time that I post. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year so I can eventually monetize this and make it my full-time job to be able to make full-time content for you lovely people. And for myself, because who wants to work a 9-to-5? With all that being said, I will see you guys next week for another spooky video. Peace.